Alright, so them youngins from the library keep driving by and super revving up the engine as they go by. So I figured I'd turn on the recording and live. I should probably go looking for Christian real quick. Let him know it's probably a good time to grab his blankets and such, because he's probably off in tweaker time somewhere. Doesn't even realize what time it is, how long he's been gone, anything like that. I'll ask him about that girl he used to date who died of, she smoked fentanyl on her weed and killed her. It's all over the place, folks. See, it's more prevalent in houses, which is something you guys don't want to understand. It's a lot more prevalent with people in houses. But people in houses aren't stuck out on the streets in a vulnerable situation. If you do them drugs in your house, well, it's your own business. It's your house. Out here on the streets, though, it's people don't want their kids to see it. It's easier just to assume that everybody's a druggie and lock everybody up, or pretend everybody's a bad guy and lock them all up. But in reality, that is extremely fucking expensive. Not to mention when you just perpetually lock people up for being poor, you eventually got to build new facilities because our population keeps on growing. The economy keeps on fucking tanking. Inflation keeps on rising. And people are ending up on the streets a whole lot more. Plus, there's a lot of people leaving the workforce. A lot of people saying, you know what? It's just not worth it. As far as providing for a family, you can't do it. You can't even provide enough to pay your own fucking rent, let alone get insurance or anything like that. And because you're working, you're not going to get any of the insurance that supposedly we're all supposed to have. You're just barely out of the bracket to be able to do that. So you got the choice of rent, insurance, or gas to go to fucking work. Yeah, good luck, buddy. God forbid you end up injured or falsely accused of a goddamn thing, because at that point, you don't have enough to live on, you're definitely screwed. If you don't have enough to live on, any added expense is enough to topple your whole fucking parade and make you start from the beginning. There's a lot of people who say, oh, well, you know, you really didn't lose that much. Oh, no, you lost a lot. It takes a long time to get those first few building blocks. After that, it starts to pick up a little faster. It starts to snowball a bit. And as long as you're able to keep on it and people keep on it with you, all it needs after that is a little bit of maintenance. But right now, I got years of it fucking stacked up. And still haven't been able to do anything with it. Still haven't had a safe place. There's a lot of people who say they understand safe place. There's also a lot of people who make jokes about it. Oh, you're a fucking snowflake, blah, 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 blah. Well, thank you very much. There's people who say, why are you always negative? I'm not always negative. I'm always positive. That's something I get. Even when I'm being an asshole, I'm still being a positive asshole. If we work together, we can make a fucking difference. That's positivity. When you say you're a hypocrite, you know, I lead by example. For all these people that I'm being an asshole to, when each and every one of them come to me for help, how long did it take me to speak up? And did I play retarded about what speaking up means? When Brandon Ratner, even after he was a fucking slowpoke, a lazy shit who wanted to chase tail, procrastinate, promise he's going to come forward, say he's going to, then change his mind to he's going to try, and then change it to, well, there's this girl I really like. Fuck, Brandon. Did I have to be begged to try to do something about finding Sean Ratner? Oh, hell no. Hell no. I know Sean Ratner in person. You goddamn right. Within 10 minutes, up goes the post. Hell yes. Was I the one that found him? No. Somebody called him in because he was walking down the interstate. Sean Ratner is actually schizophrenic. Actually delusional. He's also really quiet. Brandon talked to me on several occasions about situation with his brother. He's somebody who's familiar with schizophrenia. He's also someone who's known me for a lot of years. Between my predators getting to dictate the entire thing because they actually came forward and said stuff, whether it was true or not didn't fucking matter. All it took for them to do whatever the fuck they wanted was for every one of my friends to be useless pieces of fucking shit and give me pretty words, which is what they did. You tell the right slander, and that is what your friends are going to do. Most of them are too big of cowards to stand up to man-hating lesbians. It's hilarious. You're allowed to be a man-hating lesbian. You are. What you're not allowed to do is fucking be a piece of shit to every man who exists, as if every man was a predator to you. If that's the case, then I get to pretend that every single woman on the planet is a 31-year-old teacher who had sex with a 13-year-old. Or I get to pretend that they are a 24-year-old female teacher who had sex with a 10-year-old, and that abuse lasted for 3 years. The only problem with that is those women, one of them got no time whatsoever, even though she was pregnant with his kid. That's Colorado, by the way. Congratulations, Colorado. You lead the nation in pedophilia per capita. My God, you beat out Alabama and Tennessee. How is that possible, Colorado? Jesus Christ. Nebraska ain't much better. It's because when you think of Colorado, you think Denver is a big city. It's the only big city. The only big city. Out of all of the states surrounding it, there are no actual big cities. The closest you're going to find is Kansas City. Kansas City, Kansas. How big is Kansas City, Kansas? That ain't shit. I guess Las Vegas, Nevada's pretty big, isn't it? That borders California, though. California's west coast, you start getting a higher population. 90% of the human race lives along one coastline or the other. All the way around the world, it's water surrounding every continent. Alright, I've been about as patient as I can be. If there's any problems or issues, I want to make sure that I can leave here without saying, hey, I'm waiting on a black guy who's dressed like Sammy, or not Sammy Leon Lawrence IV. I'm waiting on a black guy that looks like he's dressed the same way as Zayd Atkinson. Work jacket, work boots, and pants. Y'all get to hear me talking trash on just about everybody, don't you? Like a live action South Park. I'm just a jerk to everyone. It's everyone's fault. One thing you don't pay attention to is I don't just say it's everybody's fault. I don't say it's everybody's fault but mine. It's everybody's fault, myself included. I fuck up. I make mistakes. I can't always tell when somebody's lying to me. I can't. I got a built-in lie detector, so yeah, I pretty well know when people are lying to me. Most of the time. But sometimes I'm in a situation of desperation, and I need to believe it's true so badly. Oh my God. Oh. Hey, no, my name is Sean, not Hey.
You want a piece of pizza?
Actually, I'm a Boulderite, so it's actually Hey. Bad joke. Yeah, I'm not wearing my rainbow hat, but I totally have a blanket in my car that has a unicorn on the top of it. Not a real unicorn, obviously. Yes, ma'am. Yes, Mr. Christian.
Mr. Christian, not Sister Christian.
I didn't call you sister. I'm not assuming your gender. You can be sis if you want.
I'm gender assuming.
Please, I don't want to assume because then I'm being a bigot. And I don't want to be, offensive to you and your people.
Thank you so much.
Don't trust her, she's white.
I can trust her. She could carry. She was holding knives at times.
Dude, she's got blonde hair. Okay, you know what she's gonna do. We need to both run. Fuck.
I got a battery in it somewhere. I got double
Oh, you're
A's.
good.
They're in my other backpack, maybe.
It works. It turns on.
It's gonna die.
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh, you did grab your blankets.
Yeah.
See, I wasn't paying that much of attention. I was just.
Grab you the battery out of it.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Don't forget your ice cream.
Make him take the ice cream.
Wow.
Take the ice cream.
I can't give it to him. I can't eat it.
Yeah.
Oh. It's gonna melt before I get home. I live up in Miami.
Miami.
That's in Florida.
I wish. I wish. Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna get you that.
Get some like palm trees.
I see where there's palm trees.
I want a boat. Oh. Well, I guess since you got all your stuff, I don't have any reason to bug you. I was sitting there, I'm like, man, I wish you'd come and grab his stuff, because if there's any issues with them youngins, or the cops want to show up and be dickheads for no reason and tell me I gotta go, I don't want to be like, all right, so I'm waiting on this black guy named Christian, because we're in a KKK town, you know?
What we gotta do is get a tote and clear out that front seat so we can cruise, and I can get his gas money and shit and roll up, and we can, like, you know what I mean, put in some work. Yeah. What I really needed.
Yeah, my name's not Bob. The batteries don't go there. Wow, between your cigarette, somebody smells like a cigar. That kind of the smell that you get when it's the smell of cow shit and cigarette.
No. You got a pocket knife on?
I don't carry any cutlery.
Sit down. Sit down over there.
Nothing that be construed as a weapon. Well, my cane here could probably get me shot, but that depends on how temperamental the officer, how much I've pissed them off. They don't really like it when you tell on them.
What should we do?
Well, I'm gonna go sit in my vehicle and try to wind down for the night and try to go to sleep.
Yeah.
It's hard to trust the cops when you videotaped them and tell them look at the Safeway assaulting a 14-year-old girl. Yeah, it was the sheriff's department. The guy got out and he didn't say a word. He just ran over to her, grabbed a hold of her by the arm and fucking her hoodie and her shoulder, fucking spun her around, and he took a run and started into the side of the vehicle, and she was trying to, do the hunker down and slow it down thing like you can do. And when she tried to do that, he was trying to take a run and start and slam her into the vehicle. She bounced off and went to the ground, and some lady was screaming at him, "Why'd you slam her down? You didn't need to slam her down like that." And I was like, he didn't slam her down. I went back and looked at the video later. I'm like, oh, fuck. Yeah, he did slam her down, and I just totally shut that woman out when she could have helped that young lady. Now, a 14-year-old girl was trying to tell on her stepdad, and I've encountered him on several occasions since then. He's a fucking dick. Stares at me. "You like to record people?" "Why, yes, I do, sir."
Good.
You're gonna fucking abuse children.
I'm gonna do this to your fucking kid. Imagine what I'm gonna do to you.
Oh, I'm not gonna do anything. I'm not violent. I only pretend to be violent if I absolutely have to be heard because lives are at stake.
You probably just couldn't wait.
I just get loud. Like when that video with Jamie, did I
Not like at first.
did I get violent or did I just yell at him to get his attention?
So he's just like he's got to get. Human beings, like especially 14-year-old girls that are like trying to tell on their stepdad, like you got to break them psychologically without.
Dude, that's
Not
totally what they
verbally.
did.
So he's
They
just
broke
getting-
her down. See, here's the
breaking
thing: the
through to the
people from
fucking
Tillamook
point.
Family Counseling Center. After that
He's a smart
happened,
guy.
and she's got two of her friends that are trying to tell the cops, both the police officer that showed up and that sheriff's deputy who assaulted him. Her friends are trying to explain to him. They're trying to turn in her stepdad, and then they come in right next to my vehicle. Tillamook Family Counseling Center fucking conspires with her predators to have her put in the hospital on a fucking. You're gonna love this when you probably experienced it. The mental health hold, the suicidal ideations. What do they do when they put you in there for suicidal ideations? That's what I figured.
No, you know what I mean? He's getting the fight in her. He's waking her up. Like,
Well, that's the thing, is that she's got to look forward to getting the mentally ill tag, and for the rest of her life, any predator can play on that. "Oh, I didn't rape her. She's mentally ill." "Oh, I didn't beat her up. She did that to herself." She was mentally ill, dude. Sometimes she does that shit. She's got a history of self-harming, and so on and so forth. She's got suicidal ideation. She's crazy. Why is she fucking suicidal? Because you're doing something bad to her, and her mom is backing you up instead of backing up her fucking daughter like a fucking decent person would. See, that's one of the things with Natalie. A lot of people are like, well, why don't you hate them for the fucking shit they did? Well, if I was in that situation, I'd have done the same thing they did. I'd have just admitted that I fucked up afterwards, as soon as I realized I fucked up. Sure.
there's smokes in there.
Right? You smoke menthol?
No, I'm not good.
I'll smoke them in an emergency. Alright. Anyway, like I was saying, I tell people that I hang out with, if I hold my phone a certain way, it means I'm recording. And for the most part, unless somebody's getting violent or something like that, I don't point it at people. If there's a situation where it's getting out of hand, you know, it's one of those situations where you really need to record it, then that's when I do. I don't record to be a jerk, and I know a lot of people don't want to be recorded in public, but you're in public, and a homeless person doesn't have a choice in the matter. There's a lot of people that are hateful, and for a lot of us out here, the only thing we can do as a defense is scream loudly. But when you scream loudly because you're afraid somebody's going to hurt you, and you're homeless, you generally get treated like you're the bad guy. You're the instigator. Well, as you guys have seen, there's a lot of people here in Oregon that are on drugs that are on the streets. So for a lot of you, you say it's understandable that they treat everybody like that. But I want you to stop for a moment, and I want you to consider this. It isn't just at Starbucks.
What was it now?
Yeah. It isn't just at Starbucks that people do messed up stuff. It isn't just at Starbucks that people might hold bias or be afraid of standing up to their coworkers. There's also hospitals and police departments and places like that. But I want you to imagine that there's a lot of places that won't serve homeless people, and they'll say things like, no big backpacks, or, you know, things of that nature. You can't just leave it outside. They just make it impossible for you to even be a customer. And I do my breathing exercises. That's something people tell me to do a lot. Breathing exercises. Anyway, out here, you gotta really live by reputation, and you are stuck with reputations that other people want to assign to you. It's kind of like in the South. You ask people why they're still segregated after the Civil War, and they all pretty well say the same thing. Well, it's just what their granddaddy taught them. Well, you know, if your granddaddy or your daddy taught you that it's okay to beat the living shit out of people because they're a different color, that don't make it okay. Let's say you get somebody who's homeless and goes in and steals out of the change jar. And then you don't want any more homeless people coming in because they're stealing your tips. The homeless are stealing your tips. Now let's say that homeless person happens to be black. Are you going to prevent all black people from coming in? No. What if that homeless person happens to be a woman? Are you going to prevent all women from going in? No. What if that homeless person happens to be Jewish? Are you going to say no Jewish people are allowed? No. See, it's a certain way for all of us, and that it's fair and equal, and that it's the best system we got, and that it's as fair as we can make it, and it's not, because we get to hear from the media. We get to hear from our predators, their side, and only their side is printed, only their side is shown, only their side is told. When you're so broke that you're stuck on the streets, it's hard to coordinate to get something done. And for me, I'm used to people just completely ignoring me. After Natalie disappeared, I had hundreds of people sending me messages. Hundreds. I couldn't dig through them all. A lot of them were threats against my life, or threats to kill my friends or family. Threats to cut off my balls or slit my throat. I still get that stuff. A lot of prank calls, a lot of people calling me from all over the world. A lot of them through Facebook Messenger. Some of them would do that 10 or 15 or more times, just over and over and over again. And I've dealt with 6 years of this. when my friends pretend like they care about me and then they're always too busy to care. You know what? I'm lucky. I'm lucky, right? I'm lucky that once a year my friends will pretend to care about me. When they get a notification up in the corner saying it was my birthday. Other than that, they don't try to stay in contact. If they do, it's because they want something eventually. A lot of people will block me and ignore me because I'm not being positive. Telling them what they can do to help when they're too busy telling me what to think and feel to even hear a word that comes out of my mouth, let alone let me finish a sentence or explain it to them in a way that they'll understand. That they're too busy with the giving instructions, telling me it's okay to feel however I need to feel, and then they tell me how to feel. Or they tell me, you know, you're allowed to have emotions, but no matter what emotions that I have, they tell me they're wrong. Even if I have no emotions at all, if I show no outward emotion. So, of course, that's where the breathing exercises come in, and it doesn't always work. Sometimes I just completely break down and can't function. But I'm not allowed. I'm told I need to man up, man up. Sir, you need to man up.
What, me?
Yes, you. Who, me? Couldn't be.
Then who? Then who the fuck should man up? Just listen to your pit boy.
Oh my God. Fallout.
You need a crossbow. With a flashlight.
You know, I didn't get into that game as much as I thought I would. It was a lot more fun to watch it on YouTube channels when I was like, oh my God, my YouTube is so fucked up. At least I could watch the running through on the games on like super low quality. So I really enjoyed the parts where they do the talk-throughs when somebody's going through the game for the first time, or they're showing all the little hidden stuff like the Chinese submarine.
Yeah.
You know, I was thinking about if I was rich, I could buy them 2 Captain Americas right there, repaint them, and then slip them back in there for free.
Ooh.
Yeah, you know, if they're like $10 each, give them the $20 for them, paint them up how I'd rather they looked, and then put them back. Looks pretty decent back scratcher, don't it?
Yeah. Getting my neck.
All right. Well, I'm gonna head over to my car. That youngin' that was harassing me at the library came by a couple of times, 3 times I guess, and was really super revving up his vehicle, which is why I started recording this one. But he didn't rev it up again once I got the video started.
That's nice. Holy crap. What's her name? She massaged my feet for a minute. Holy crap, that felt good. I had like one blue, and I was smoking whatever, and then I got a blue, and I smoked like, I had like a light bulb, and I smoked it out of a light bulb. It was really nice. I was like, hi, and then I was like, I was like kind of paranoid. My feet, and I was just like, oh, would you let me? I'm like, and she was like rubbing my feet. Oh my god, she was like squeezing them, you know? It was just so nice.
I don't know, my feet are too sensitive to let people touch them. Yeah. I got a question for you.
I have to have like a woman that can.
People haven't exactly given me the same answer when I've asked them what's in the blues. A lot of people, one of the ladies told me that it's fentanyl, one lady told me that it's heroin, one of the guys out here told me that it's meth-based, one of the folks in Hood River told me it's meth-based. What's in the blues?
What's in fentanyl?
It's fentanyl?
What is
the blues? What is what is in the blues?
It's an opioid.
Okay.
It's like a synthetic opiate. So it fires off the same neurons in your brain as an opiate, but it's not an opiate, so you don't get or no, is that right? I think I'm thinking about kratom. Kratom is an opioid.
So you're smoking the blues and you don't even know what classification of drug you're smoking.
Opioid.
It is opioids. You know that for certain?
Yeah.
All right.
So it's
So you kind of know what Natalie Bollinger was going through with her heroin addiction.
Yes.
Because it wasn't just, see, she was addicted to heroin and meth. When she died, she had a lethal dose of heroin in her system. But as you know, if you build up a tolerance, you can tolerate a lot more. She actually died of Joseph Lopez blowing her brains out with her boyfriend's 9mm Glock 19.
Yeah. I wouldn't. The best is fentanyl powder. Stuff's good.
I don't agree with that at all. I've never tried it, but I see the effects out here on human beings.
Because you take just a little bit of it. That's concentrated. And you take just like a couple little crumbs, and you put it on like some foil.
That girl that died here, is that how she died?
In the last time.
What was her name? Jessica?
Who died here?
The one that died of the fentanyl overdose?
I don't know.
The one you were talking about earlier that wasn't here? Your ex-girlfriend?
My ex-girlfriend?
Yeah, the one we were talking about at the grocery outlet.
Oh. No, I didn't. I didn't say she died of a fentanyl overdose. I just said I picked up a cat that was. Oh, that's what it is. I picked up a cat that was
orange
beavers, and I've been worried about a woman whose daughter is going to OSU, and I think she went to OSU as well. And I dated her. I met her. I went to treatment after this stuff started. And just beautiful, blonde, blue eyes, petite, a lot of energy.
You know, a lot of my viewers are racist rednecks that know you're black, right?
Huh?
I see.
What the fuck are we talking about now?
I didn't see no white girls.
You what?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh God, that was all right. So one of the people that is my heroes is a guy named Mel Brooks. He's Jewish, but he did a lot to try to fight for everybody's rights. And one of the things that really exposed bigots right out of the box, he made a movie. It's called Blazing Saddles. The sheriff's black. He's a cowboy, and it's got Gene Wilder in it. And Gene Wilder, he's got a gun, and you know they see these two Klans members, and they have these these yellow smiley faces on the back that say "Have a nice day," and he pulls the sheriff out behind the rock, and the sheriff goes, "Hey, where the white women at?"
Blazing Saddles, yeah. I took me a while to. Just recently, I met a cat, and he works over at Safeway, and I absolutely adore that guy. He just got married to Kim Green.
I don't know her.
She's great. But we went to school there. But he's great. And he was telling me about. I'm kind of freaked out that there was a blonde. I'm freaked out.
Well, since your stuff isn't on my vehicle anymore, I guess I can go over there and take care of stuff for the night. I gotta try to get everything centralized, and since I got a mailbox here, I'm pretty well stuck in the area for a bit. I also don't have the money to travel, and I don't want a chance getting stranded somewhere.
Yeah, okay, so I need to get my own vehicle. And we'd have to move in as a convoy and everything. But
I agree, because I'm not going to have any blues in my vehicle.
Exactly.
I'm against all of that.
I need to, you know what I mean? We have to be able to govern over our own little space. But at least be like, hey, let's vote. Where are we stopping? Do we want to keep going or stop? And what do you need? Gas? What do you need?
Well, for me,
I'll take us up to the
I
island.
won't be able to do anything money-wise until the 1st, and Like literally half my money right off the top goes to my vehicle and all of the stuff that it takes to keep it legal and running for me.
You'll be happier up there, I think, because then I can see my nephew and check to see if it makes me hate the world so much, man. Because it's like I watch people for less have people go, oh, you need this. Like conning people and they get a van. Or they're like,
Oh, like Casey, he ended up with 3 of them. And Cheryl and Lewis, they ended up giving 2 of theirs away because they were giving a new one.
yeah, I need a van.
They had 3 of them to begin with. I'm like, where's the 3rd van at?
Yeah, because then I could do work. Like, if I had a truck and I went up there, I wouldn't have to worry about work or anything.
Oh my God, dude! I tried to explain that since I was a kid. You know, my favorite vehicle is not the one that I wanted to buy. I wanted to buy a Chevy S10,
Yeah.
but what I really wished I had, if I was a millionaire, is
If I could find somebody with like money that has property up there really easily and just be like, and I could set up a really clean camp that where nothing would get stolen at all.
so you got to have somebody who's sober for that, and then you have to have somebody who's not completely desperate with kids, because they'll steal your shit and go back and visit their kids first chance they get.
Yeah.
You know they will, so you might as well set a budget aside for that.
And be quiet and serene, ocean.
It's a matter of the safe camp, though, like you said. How many homeless people are
Humpback
there?
whales come through, so you can see them. You can look and see humpback whales, and you can see killer. You can see the humpbacks when they come out, and they flip, and they on their backs, and then they boom. You can see that happening in the pods. They do it in groups. They shoot out of the water.
All right. Well, I'm gonna head over to my vehicle.
Yeah.
Be safe and have a pleasant evening.
You too. I'm gonna try to crash out
Absolutely.
on the bench.
Oh, you really should watch my channel. Just if I get too streamy for you, remember you can turn it off. You don't have to traumatize yourself. Yes, sir. Oh, nice. Iron tobacco. Cool. Traveling something, you know. That's the thing about the blues. I've had a few people tell me it's opioids. Some of them, they don't shut up and they don't go to sleep, so it makes me wonder. Oh. Cool. I should have put more clothes on, but of course, getting an education is important. Being aware of your surroundings is important. And trying your best to keep good relations is actually very important. If you're a dickhead, people don't want to be around you. I'm only a dickhead on the internet. In real life, if I'm a dickhead, it is super fucking important. And if it's super fucking important, I'm not trying to be a dickhead. I'm letting you know it's super fucking important, and I don't want to have to fucking come forward about it. A lot of people wanted me to keep their name safe. In exchange, they was going to help me. Like, Sean, I'm afraid. But then they never actually helped. They were too busy telling me what to do, what to think, what to feel, and changing the fucking deal. Well, a lot of y'all who were threatened online, publicly, you know, that was cruelty that I didn't need. The cops should have dealt with that fucking job. I shouldn't have had to go to the fucking internet to begin with. Especially after Natalie was killed. And if any one of my friends or family had actually been a friend or family, that would have been the time to fucking do it. And Todd Ryan case, he was willing to try, but he was all fucked up on ketamine and being a dick to his girlfriend. Yeah, that was scary. Christopher Tapp got all drunk on fucking Jameson. Wanted to be fucking violent with me and fucking screamy and Tammy's a cunt, Tammy's a cunt, Tammy's a cunt over and over again. Like, fuck, dude. That kid's not mine. That fucking cunt fucking lied. I'm not taking a DNA test. Like, Jesus, fuck, dude. I'm just not gonna pay for it. I'm like, you know, I didn't go there to get screamed at by an alcoholic or to be berated and belittled and fucking pushed around, literally pushed and shoved hard by somebody over hatred towards their ex that has been years everlasting. And like with many of these other men who wanted to do the, oh, nobody was there for me when it happened to me. Much more the reason to fucking stand up now. What kind of example are you setting if you're going to fucking bitch about the problem but knew nothing about it? You've identified the problem. You had to do it alone. Then when you tell your friend that you're going to go in so they don't have to go in alone because you understand because you had to go in alone. And then when it's time to actually do it, you punk out and use the excuse of nobody went in with you. I get that if you'd have been able to get in contact with me, you might have reached out to me, but you were probably going to reach out to somebody else, wouldn't you? Many of you did. You tried and your friends blew you off. Just like you did to me. And your excuse for doing it to me is that others did it to you. Like those assholes who are permanently fucking violent assholes. And they say, hey, you know, my parents hit me and I turned out all right. Not really. Fucking violence is the first solution you jump to. It's not much of a fucking solution. Anyway, I should probably start up my car and make sure that there's some charge on the battery. I keep forgetting that I have the spare battery that I can use and plug into my battery jump starter back there. And it'll charge it up to about 80%. I don't know why. You'd think that it would charge up more than that. Boy. All right. There's got to be something I can blow my nose with in here. Oh. For some of these youngins, they're just little tyrants. And for some of these youngins to come here, they are just going through a lot of hell at home, and as a result, having somewhere to go that's not home is what they're after. I can't tell one from the other because I don't mingle with them. I try to avoid them like the plague. They're not my age, and that can very easily and quickly become people who are paranoid and thinking all sorts of fucking stupid and ignorant shit. He's homeless, so he must be a fill in the dots. It's not through here. No, no fucking Kleenex. Got scissors though. And thumbtacks. No, this isn't the one with the thumbtacks. Fuck it. Ugh. Oh my god, I am trying to stretch without the cane. It is not working out so good. Alright, so here's kind of what the area looks like. Little thing in between. There's the grocery outlet. Fuck, am I getting up? No, I got it. Anyway, over here there's like these little marshy wetland things. And those go all the way down through here. And other side of the sign there, they go all the way down to the very end of the thing here. I would take the camera over there and show you, but there's footage on my camera already. And it's during the day when there's better light. Brr. Alright, making a video now. Although somebody might be a jerk as soon as I turn it off. It's not like I have anything worth value other than my evidence. And I would give my life to have somebody take this evidence and actually do something with it. Instead of taking it out on whoever's easiest to blame, whoever it is most socially acceptable to blame. got some Smarties out, or cuties. I don't carry a knife, but I got a P38 can opener, or a P51 can opener, and it works okay. It does take me a really long time to hold the can, or to open a can, and sometimes I just have to give up and push something in there that I can wedge in. Anyway, good to be rid of you. Thank you for coming to visit. Stay out of trouble or don't get caught. Remember, you are your brother's keeper and your sister's too. And even if your brother or sister happens to be a them, they are people too. We understand that there are antagonists in every group. All of us know that. It doesn't matter what color you are. There's going to be somebody who is a jerk. When you got siblings in your family, there's usually that one sibling who's just a fucking abhorrent dickhead. And usually there's at least one sibling that's usually very cool. I'm not going to pretend that no black person has ever committed a crime. I'm not going to pretend that no woman has ever committed a crime. And I'm certainly not going to take responsibility for the crimes of others. Unless it'll save lives in the long run.